I'm always amazed. And I say amazed because I just don't get it at times when someone says to me, how am I going to live without that person? In my industry, I have to read biopsychosocials and I have to read histories. And people are saying, I can't live without this person. The person's been beating him and lying to him, stealing from him from years. Or someone's pimping somebody out. Well, he loves me. Or she loves me. You don't understand. I always love when someone says, you don't understand. You're damn fucking right I don't understand. What's the mind frame of somebody? They have lost something along the way. Whether it's self-esteem, self-love, self-respect, the ability to believe they need somebody in their life. They believe they need somebody good. A lot of people, and I see it every day where, well, I don't deserve this. Look, I deserve the best in life no matter what. I deserve to be happy. But if I'm not happy, pretty good chance it's based upon me and my choices. Now, all this has to do with grief and loss because we all handle grief and loss differently. Grief and loss, as I said before, is not about death. It's about right or wrong. And when I say right or wrong, people are like, what do you mean by right or wrong? What's the right thing for you to do when you come into grief and loss? I don't know. What's the wrong thing to do? Be a victim. Pity yourself. Not do your job. Lie to people. Use people. Use whatever that situation is to benefit yourself. By not going to work, by wanting people to feel sorry for you, telling stories, trying to get people in to feel, oh, you poor baby. So many people do that. One of these pieces of crap that I said that I no longer speak to, that's what he would do. Just bring people in and manipulate, lie, do everything he can. That's who he is. He's never going to change. He's sick. That's who he is. And we all have people like that in our lives. That's what they do. So, grief and loss is very important for us to understand. It's not just about death. It's about anything and everything that makes us feel as if we can't go on. It makes us feel as if we're less than. What did I do wrong? What could I have done different? It happens all the time. There's a young girl that I just spoke with recently. Her boyfriend's in prison. He went to prison. Not a good guy. Seen the text messages and everything. Calling her names, this and that. But she loves him because he's the only man that's ever been good to her. So I asked her about family. Then you see why. Father overbearing. Mother never had a chance to say anything. The kids were all beaten down verbally their whole life. So she picked someone, that sad expression, just like dear old dad. Well, she is waiting for this guy to get out of prison. Only God knows what's happened. So there's certain people we can't save, but I can guarantee you this one thing, we can save ourselves. It's very hard to get out of situations that we're in. People are born into situations. They're born into environments. They're born into families. No one wants to betray their family. You're not betraying anybody by trying to better yourself. You're not betraying anybody by standing up for yourself. So many people stay in situations because someone's helping them financially. Mom, dad, a boyfriend, a husband, sugar daddy, sugar baby, sugar mama, whatever the fudge you want to call them. Because they don't believe they could do any better. Or they don't know they could do any better because of their upbringing. But after a certain time, it's like that old saying, touch a stove how many times? You're going to figure out it's pretty hot. You stick your finger in a light socket. You're going to figure out you get electrocuted. You stand in the middle of the freeway, pretty good chance you get hit by a car. You pull a gun and shoot yourself, pretty good chance it's going to hurt. So we already know answers to things like that. But again, many of us are born to suffer because there's all these statements, well, you got to go through the bad before you get to the good. Why? Why can't it just be good off the start? You got to suffer in order to feel what other people, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to feel what other people feel because I don't know what other people feel. I'm always interested when I talk to people and someone says, I know exactly what you're talking about. My sister-in-law, my brother's first wife, passed away, and I was with someone at a restaurant, and I've talked about this before. We're sitting and talking, and she goes, I know what you're going through. And I said, oh, really? What happened? She goes, well, I had a boyfriend that I loved to death, and when we broke up, I never got a chance to talk to him again. I said, so how does that equate? She goes, well, I'll never see him again. I said, so he's still alive? She said, yes. I said, you still have the ability to reach out to him. Do you know where he lives? Yes. Do you family? I paid and I walked and got in a taxi and went home. At that time, there were taxis. They didn't have Uber Drive and all that. What's the one you used today, Mark, where there's nobody in it?
I used Waymo today.
Waymo. Yeah, Waymo. There's another interesting one. But the bottom line is, people think that they know what to say. And I learned once my mother passed away that I got so angry at some people. Like I was just saying earlier today, some girl I know today, a woman, asked me how my mom was. She knew my mom. She knew my mother passed away. And it was like, okay, but then again, that's okay because it's not her responsibility to remember my mother passed away. You would think someone would think that. So I got angry at people. I couldn't believe it. But then I realized that people say things that they're not trying to be rude. They're not trying to be mean. They're not trying to be disrespectful. Sometimes we just don't know what to say. We honestly don't. So do we keep our mouth shut? If you have that problem, just say something. Look, I don't know what to say. I just let you know I love you. That's a great statement. I always find it so annoying when it says, you can talk to your mom. Well, I can talk to Jesus. Never met the man. Hello? We can talk to whoever we want in our head. We can believe in whoever we want faith-wise. We can believe in whoever we want business-wise. We can always state, this is the best person for us to be elected president. This is the best person. Everybody has what they believe are their opinions. And that's when it comes to grief and loss. Everybody handles it differently.